dedicated, greatness around, every heart elated. Mentors guiding, streets filled with dreams. Planting seeds, yo, you know what it means. Volunteer vibes, energy unmatched. Building our empire, every goal attached. Young ladies aspiring, greatness in their veins. Breaking every barrier, shaking off the chains. Service in their spirit.
Hi guys, my name is Gabby.
Hi, I'm Trinity.
I'm Jakaya, and we are YLAG, working in the community in hopes to make a difference. And we are here with...
I'm Micah, here with MSK Day,
And our topic of today is parental relationships. So I'm going to start us off with our first question. What do you think makes a strong and healthy relationship between a parent and a child?
I think one thing that makes a good connection between a parent and a child is to really like them outside of being your family. Like, obviously, you guys are kin, you guys are family, but to find things that you like about each other and common interests outside of being family. Like, really building a connection outside of being related to each other.
Mm-hmm. I want to jump on the back of that train a little bit. I would definitely say kind of what you were saying about, like, generally liking somebody or generally getting to know them. But not just that, but, like, you know, because parents will be, kiki with you in public, but then they might not kiki with you in private. Essentially, like, get to know your child and don't just know certain little things about your child. Like, you claim to know your child, but you can't tell them their favorite color. Mm-hmm. And don't choose... I'm sorry. And don't just, like, choose everything for your child before they get a chance to really figure out and choose for themselves.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like a big part of, like, relationship with parents, I feel like is trust. Like, trust is a really big part. If you don't like your parent and they don't lie to you, y'all have, like, that bond and trust, and they'll let you do more stuff and, like, yeah, and just tell your parent everything. And that's really how you get that relationship, I feel like.
To add to that, I will also say, like, having, like, a common, like, ground point between parenting and, like, friendship, because, like, you can be a parent, yeah, but, like, if you're not there for your child, like, sometimes all they need is a friend, and, like, moms don't know or dads don't know that they can be their child's greatest friends. So I feel like that also makes a good bond, being a parent when you need to, but also a friend at times.
I feel like we see that a lot more in the Black community, especially with, like, growing up with just because I said so. I said so. Well, why can't I go? I said so.
Yeah. I feel like
and really explain it. Like really explaining to your kids and not just choosing to believe that they're asking quote unquote dumb questions. They're not asking dumb questions. They generally want to know, why can I not go? They're not questioning your authority. They're just like, why can I not go? Just like, tell me why.
Sometimes we just want basic communication. I also feel like that's like a barrier too, when parents just think, oh, I'm the parent, I don't have to explain myself, I don't have to listen to you because I'm the parent. Which I feel like it's a relationship like any other relationship, and it takes two to have a conversation. And like I feel like children should be able to voice their opinions. So that's how I feel about that one.
I agree.
So do you guys believe that emotional support is like basic necessities that children need, or do you think they just need physical support?
Yes. To both.
Both.
But
yeah, I think both.
But I think emotional plays on your mental. Mm-hmm. Well, wait. Emotional plays on your physical. My bad. Yeah. So I was gonna say I truly believe that, because like I see people that don't have great relationships with their parents, and how that takes a toll on them in their day-to-day life versus how they were prior to their parents. So I say definitely you're emotional. If you don't have an emotional connection with your parent or guardian, that try and build one if you can. But if they're not open to it, then I don't know. That's the one part I get lost on. Like,
to add on to what you were saying, so like with parents like being there like emotionally and stuff and physically, if they weren't there, how do you think that would affect the child when they're growing up? Like parents not being there.
Okay, I'll speak from personal experience. You can have your parent be there and do stuff for you and buy you clothes and take you places, and I did all this stuff for you. Is that not enough? But it's never that it's not enough. It's just what I'm asking you for, you can't give me. I have this conversation with my parent. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I have this conversation with my parent about, like, how, like, you do so much for me, and I'm so grateful for that. But sometimes I just need you to let me talk. I don't need you to call me extra. I don't need you to call me like I'm doing too much. I just need somebody that I can really talk to. And because of that, you'll, especially when you have a stricter parent, Christian parent, Black single mother, been doing this on her own since day one. So, you know, it really creates like that tension between you and your parent. A lot of times, geez, I'm getting deep. A lot of times at home, it'll just be silence. Like, she'll be in her living room. I'll be in my room. I'll be doing my music. We don't talk often. She'll eat her dinner in the living room. I'll eat my dinner in the dining room. Like, it's not a family dinner. It's not any of that. But to the rest of the world, it's picture perfect. And it's just like, it really does take a toll. It takes a toll on your friendships. People be like, your mom's pretty strict. I don't really know if I should even invite you. So then you have like problems with getting to know other people and trying to build connections and relationships. But it's never that they didn't raise you right. It's just like, it's something that you want from them that it's like almost as if they're not willing to give.
What do you guys think on it?
I feel like I can add my experience into it too. Growing up, I might have a little bit of a different perspective because I have divorced parents, but both my parents are very much involved in my life. I think as I've gotten older, I can just kind of acknowledge that their parenting styles are different and they just don't mix together, and that's okay. Growing up, I've never had to go without. I've never had been told a no a lot. My mom, she gives me a lot of support. Like, even on the days she's like dead tired, like, she still shows up for me. And I feel like that's so important because growing up for so long, my mom and I, we were like polar opposites. And so at times we would disagree on a lot of things, but I think maybe just living with her a lot more has made me a little bit more like her in a way. But I also feel like now we both like each other as people, and that's what makes our connection really special.
What about you, Gabby?
Well, with me, when I was growing up, my mom was on the stricter side. And, like, that really, like, does to a young child, like, dang, you're so strict, you're so mean, like,
Yes.
I don't know. It's just, like, but, like, when I'm growing up, I just feel like why she was strict. And I was, like, I wasn't, like, my sister, she's very chill and, like, low back. I wasn't low back, so I got in trouble more and all of that. So,
Yes.
yeah, so me and my mom's relationship, it's good now, but, like, when we was younger, it was just very strict and, like, yeah, it was, like, kind of bad, but.
So do you guys feel like your parents have been like more lenient as you got older? Because I can too relate. Like when I said my mom and I would butt heads sometimes when I was younger just because I didn't understand the rules. And I understand the because I said so, because that's what I got all the time. And it's not me questioning her authority. It's I genuinely want to know. I'm a curious person. I ask questions every single day. I just want to learn more. I want to be better as a person. And I want you to help me out with that.
Yeah, so for me, love you, Mom. I promise you I do. But for me, I would say certain things she got a little bit more lenient on. But I went to an all-girls school for most of my life until I went to 7th grade. So from kindergarten all the way up, I've been in an all-girls school. So you can just imagine what it's like to go to a blended school after so long. And it was just like, not to say all hell broke loose, but like, it was new freedom, new people, new genders, and I was just introduced to a whole different world that I had not been introduced to before. So, at first, I'm not going to say I went a little buck wild. I went a little buck wild. But I locked in. I locked in because my grades started reflecting that buck wild. So I locked in, and as I locked in, certain things she would like loosen up on. Like, oh, if somebody invited me somewhere, it wouldn't be an automatic no. It'll be I think about it, even though it might turn into a no. It's at least better than just no. Going certain places with certain people. I finally got to hang out with my best friend. We finally got to go certain places because my mom was strict to the point I didn't have my first sleepover until I was 9. And it wasn't even at a house. It was at a building that other parents were with. And every parent had to stay with their kid. So, like, you know, like certain things, like, yeah, she was lenient up on. But I also started to understand why she was so protective over me as time went on. See, it was the other way around for me when you're talking about your siblings. My sister was the buck wild one. I'm the one that get the backbone because she was the buck wild one. I'm like, bro, I didn't even do nothing. But of course, what your older siblings do, you have to pay for it. So that will, once you guys answer this one, I have a question related to that.
Okay, so my experience, my mom is also very strict, and like growing up, like I would have to deal with the same comments you guys did, like, oh, I'm scared to, you know, to ask you to go somewhere, or like I'm scared to talk to your mom or stuff like that.
Yes.
So I got that a lot, but I feel like as I grew up, she did get a little more lenient. You know, it's not gonna all magically just like, you know, stop being strict, but I just feel like with that comes time, and like it could be a little more like, you know, as a kid, I didn't really understand the stuff that she was doing or why she did it. And that's why I wanted to, like, explore and find out for myself, because I never had the answers to why she was doing what she did or, like, why she was so strict. So a few of the things, like, I had to find out for myself. And some things I'm glad that I tried and found out for myself, but other things I'm not. But, like, I think that, yeah, like, parents should be strict on their child, but not to the point where they feel, like, scared to do anything, to try anything, like scared to like express themselves because they're going to be judged, or like you don't know what your mom's going to say or react or do when you tell her stuff. So I feel like that's a key point. Like I feel like you should have like a middle ground between strict and like, you know, just, you know, a little more loose, because at the same time they were once kids, so they know, like, they don't want you to repeat the same mistakes, but also like you have to give us room to make our own mistakes, because this is, at the end of the day, it's our life. But, like, they're going to try to do everything they can to prevent those mistakes, and I love my mom for that. But, like, sometimes I do want to make those mistakes, and I do want to learn from that. So that's how I feel about the more strict side.
And also, the times have changed from when they were kids. And that's one thing that they don't understand.
I
like,
think my mom understands too bad, like too hard.
That's one thing that parents, like, don't understand. And it's not their fault, because they're not teenagers in this generation.
Thank you.
They were teenagers when they were teenagers. But, you know, I know my mom loves to say, she's like, everything you guys have been through, we've been through before. But no, you haven't.
Not.
Because
like,
we have, like, on top of the things that already existed in the world, we now have social media and cell phones. Another, like, 10,000 problems right there in itself that they did not have growing up. So, you know, sometimes I really hate when I hear adults say, oh, you're a kid, you shouldn't have problems.
yes.
We have,
Yes.
like, I'm not going to say we have more problems, because I wasn't around when they were kids, so I wouldn't know what problems they really went through. But it's like,
we shouldn't have to go problem for problem.
exactly. Like, it's not a versus thing. Like, teenagers, like, have thoughts. They have the same things that you probably experience. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they use their past sometimes, and they're like, oh, like, we had it bad back in the day, but the times have changed. Like, in some elements, it has gotten better, but in some elements, it's gotten, like, worse.
Yeah.
I feel like they put the pressure on you to do better, because, you know, they didn't do as good as they wanted to, and they want to see us do better. So I feel like that's part of the reason why parents push harder. But sometimes that pressure to be, you know, like, be good, it can sometimes weigh a lot on us. And we need to take time to just, like, process ourselves, and, like, you know, sometimes we're not going to be, like, the greatest we can be, but, you know, we're trying.
I agree.
So, moving on to the next question. What are some things that you think that parents can do to like engage with their children more, like something that they can do to get more involved with their lives and actually start having those conversations with their kids?
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, I see, and I'm not even trying to compare my friends to me, but I see some of my friends that they be like, yeah, me and my mom, my mom asks so much about my life. She does. My mom is just like, okay, cool. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like I'm texting like somebody so dry, but it's my mom, and I'm talking to her in real life. I'm confused. But asking questions, generally putting forth the effort to get to know your child, because your child is ever evolving, just like you are ever evolving, just like the world is ever evolving.
Mm-hmm.
So take time to really get to know them and be like, hey, what do you want to do? Not just what do I feel comfortable with doing, but what do you want to do? Because that's the other thing of like, oh, I've done this, that. That's where they like to pull that in. But is that what I asked you to do? Mm-hmm. Is that what I asked for? I mean, you never asked me what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And when I try to tell you what I want, it's like, well, I don't really want to do that because I'm older. I don't know if you guys' mom are on the older side, but my mom's in her 50s. So I have old school mom. Technically, I'm a PK, but we won't get into that one. That's okay.
Yeah, I feel that too. And I feel like with the questions, they also have to be more accepting of the responses that they're going to get. They're not going to get the response that they want sometimes.
Thank you. Somebody had to say it.
Yeah, I feel that. Also, so like with with your moms and dads being there, how do you feel it reflects on people that don't have those relationships? They don't have their moms or they don't have their dads in their life. How do you think that reflects on them?
I feel like a lot of the foundations I've learned just growing up, I learned with my family inside of my household, like things not to do, how to build relationships with people. And I feel like that really started with my mom and dad and my stepdad first, before I got out into the real world and made friends of my own. Because I feel like you learn those foundations like in your household, and you have those good relationships inside your household, like it makes it just that much better to make those relationships outside when you're on your own. Like people who don't have that, like kids who don't have that, it's obviously out of their control if they don't have that with their parent, but it definitely shows when kids who don't have present parents or neglectful parents, it can show that they don't have a good relationship just in the way that they talk to people or the way that they treat people. It can definitely show. So I feel like it really starts in your household first before you get to the outside world.
I was just simply going to say jealousy. Now let me explain. I know. You're looking at me crazy. Let me explain. When I say that, another personal experience here. There was this girl, no name drops. There's this girl, we're going to call her Keisha. Keisha didn't live with her parents. Mm-hmm. And she didn't have her parents growing up with her, none of that. I did. Keisha loved my mom. My mom did not love Keisha. Because my mom, like, do your parents ever be like, oh, yeah, I have discernment about this person. I don't want you hanging out. It was one of those. Yeah. And you don't want to believe her because you just don't want her to be right. You're like, nah, it can't be. Keisha cool. Keisha not cool. Keisha not cool. Mom was right, and you hate to say it, but she was. So she was jealous of you and started spreading things about you. Though you already was an open book, so it's not nothing that people didn't already know, but it always came back to you like, oh, Keisha was talking about you, right? She was? You trapping. It must be a different Keisha. So I would definitely say jealousy. And they'll do things like little things to pick at you because they don't have what you have. Mm-hmm. And they never could. And never will. Okay. Which is not up to them. But like, that, like what she was saying, it really shows when you don't have those fundamentals. Mm-hmm. Fundamentals there.
That's the word I was looking for, fundamentals.
Also, on the other side of that, since we all like have more strict moms, how do you guys feel about like more lenient parents? Because I know my dad is more lenient and like he's the fun parent and stuff like that, but like how do you guys think that affects children?
There's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
There's a balance between overprotective and neglectful. And when I hear like some of my counterparts talking about their parents, it sounds straight up neglectful to me, because what do you mean that your parents willingly let you go into a dangerous situation knowing it's dangerous, but you're exploring, you're learning, they let you do it anyway? It's like not quite. Like, I know a lot of like people that I even go to school with that, you know, they do a ton of things. Like, obviously, you're a teenager. You're going to experiment with things. And that's totally fine. It's a canon event of being a teenager, right? But it gets to a point where certain things become your habits and it's affecting you as a person. And you're getting yourself into a really deep hole. But it's, you're going to learn on your own. Like, at one point, my mom and I were butting heads. I was like, why aren't you letting me do this? Like, why aren't you letting me go out? Like, and I realized it was because she was trying to keep me safe. Like you said earlier, like, my mom had discernment about certain people in my life. And I was like, well, you don't go to school with them. Like, you don't know them like I do. Yeah. Like, but a mother knows, okay? Unfortunately, I always have want to be right energy. I always want to be right. Like, no, I'm going to show you, like, this person is not who you think it is. But a mom always knows. And I feel like at one point I was kind of upset. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how did I not catch this? Am I mad that I didn't, like, catch this earlier? Or am I mad that my mom was right?
Yeah. But wait, say your question one more time.
I said, how do you think that lenient parents can also affect their child? It's like more lenient parents, or like not even just lenient, or like she said, like neglectful parents, because there is a difference between lenient and neglectful.
I was gonna say the difference. I would definitely say, okay, I know this is a very controversial topic, but the clothing you wear. Mm-hmm. I feel like the clothing you wear explains what kind of parent you got. Now, for those who like buy their own clothes, says something. Mm-hmm. Those whose parents buy their clothes, all their clothes, says something. Those whose parents don't really care, just give you the card to buy your clothes, says something. And I feel like, not to say you judge a person off of what they wear, but certain things that certain people wear, you just be like, oh yeah, their mom let them do that. And then, Lord behold, their mom let them do that. Or like, going out to games, showing they tail. Yeah, I know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Thinking they the stuff because they're the basketball team, basketball players. That gets me right there. I'm not even gonna lie. Let me see. Those who are like less fortunate sometimes, and I'm not trying to judge nobody off of their clothes, but like certain things you can tell off of their clothes, whether the parent is being neglectful or whether the person is being just lenient. Like crop tops in the winter. Why are you letting your child wear a crop top in the winter? Yeah. Please explain.
Or shorts.
Like short shorts. Why are we wearing those in school? I'm sorry. I thought this was school, not a party. Even if it was a party. But like, you know, that shows the difference between neglectful and lenient. Like lenient would just be like, okay, you know, maybe in the summertime, but like shouldn't be up here or anything. Definitely like at least covering at least half of the navel. But I feel like with that, if your parent doesn't correct it right then and there, or around the time where things can actually be changed and altered, then that's just how you be as an adult. Though they say you change and evolve, your fundamentals that you grew up with and the foundation you grew up with is essentially what you build off of. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a strong foundation, it all comes tumbling down.
Yeah, to piggyback from that, like growing up, like as me, I used to have friends that are not the best, and I always wanted to hang out with them. So I asked my parents, like, can I hang out with them? They say no because that's not safe. But honestly, I didn't understand that when I wasn't there. Like just going like from school, like with a bunch of students that is not like their parents is not, they don't really care about them or anything. It's just like sometimes like you'll feel left out because like your parents is not letting you go to like going with your friends. But, like, as you get older, like, you see those friends in middle school, what they are, like, what they're doing now, and, like, and you understand now, and, like, yeah.
Okay, so also with that, why do you guys think that communication is hard between parents and children?
Because you can go.
Okay, I was gonna say rock paper scissors. Communication is hard between parents and children. Essentially, what we've been saying this whole time about how you know, like, if you don't really get to know your child up front and you're not willing to openly talk to them and openly get to know them and openly speak to them and openly put in input, then like it makes it harder to communicate with them. I would definitely say, again, from personal experience, when I'm talking to my mom about certain things, she'd be like, well, if you had done this, don't point fingers at me in the midst of me trying to tell you what happened. And don't rush my story. It's a good story. Let me tell my plot the way I want to tell my plot. Let me cook. But then again, they don't like it when you cook. They just want to cook, and they just want to be right.
And I feel like communication is hard with parents because we're living in a different time right now. They have problems, we have problems. It's totally, completely different. And then, like, when you try to rant to your, like, parents, they try to lecture you when you just want someone to listen.
And I feel like when you're communicating with parents, it's almost like they want to relate to you so bad, but they're not putting in the effort to actually get to know who you are. And I feel like sometimes it's like, okay, like you have resentment about telling them, but then you're like, if she finds out or if he finds out, it's going to be a whole different thing. So you straight up tell them, but then it's like, I get the exact reaction that I knew I was going to get. Yeah. And they promise, like, and then they want to be like, why don't you talk to me anymore? Why don't you open up to me anymore? Why are you lying to me? Why are you not sharing things with me anymore? It's because, like, not out of fear, but it's out of, like, trust. Like, can I trust that I can just tell you something?
And you won't tell your friends?
And that
Heavy
on that. Heavy on that.
Parents do have to listen. So I feel like, that's a good, like, way to wrap it up. Like, just communication with parents.
Yes.
So with that, we're going to be leaving. Thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure that you guys like, follow, and share with a friend.
Dedicated, greatness around, every heart elated, mentors guiding, streets filled with dreams, planting seeds, yo, you know what it means, volunteer vibes, energy unmatched, building our empire, every goal attached, young